All right, hi everybody. We are here in the new challenger final match between MrLephisto and Hans. Just messaging the competitors now. I'm joined once again on the mic by D. Hi D.
Hi. You didn't say hi. Say hi D, so I can't say hi D this time.
And wait, let me try it again. 1 second. Wait. Hi everybody. Welcome to the new challenger, etc., etc. We're here with D. Say hi D.
Hi D.
Yeah. All right, we got it.
There we go.
All right,
Versus
cool.
Reese, a classic matchup. Anyway.
You
All right. So who's playing new?
Okay. So Hans in blue is playing the team of. Oh, I should probably message bands. 1 second. Hans, bands, bang. Fisto, bands, Hakumen. Hans is playing the theoretical team of Hakumen, Beheaded, and Plague Knight, so he has access to Plague Knight and Beheaded right now. Meanwhile, MrLephisto on the red side, closest side to me, is playing the team of Sagat, Bang, who's been banned, and Merkava.
Wait, so no one's playing new.
No one is playing new.
Why is it called the new challenger?
Oh no. Oh no. Let me once again branding. We need to go back and maybe scrap the whole tournament.
It's ruins.
Yep.
It's a waste.
Yep. There's nothing we can do now.
All right. So we have not Hakumen.
Yep.
So that left Beheaded Plague Knight.
Correct.
And then not Bang. So that's Merkava Sagat.
Correct.
Okay. So Beheaded Plague Knight versus Merkava Sagat.
Yeah, I would say that a decent number of those characters I'm relatively familiar with. I think I'm gonna have to, like I said before we started recording, I'm gonna have to rely on you a little bit for any Plague Knight play that comes out.
Okay. Let's see the Plague. Okay, so Plague Knight is on Hans' side. I've not had a lot of opportunity to watch Hans in action, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of Plague they play, assuming they get the chance. This is not a game where you have to swap if you win with the character, right? So we actually might not see Plague Knight if they just prefer to play Beheaded.
Yep, correct. The way it goes is the winner of the first match of the set, or the first game of the set, will choose to stay or switch, and then in response, the loser will choose to stay or switch. So the onus is on the winner to make the decision first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so winner may swap, then loser may swap.
Correct. Yep, puts a lot of pressure on the loser to make a decision, even though theoretically they are at the advantage in that decision with their back against the wall, which I've always liked as a sort of balancing mechanism. You ostensibly are getting a benefit from switching, choosing to switch second, but at the same time, a lot can ride on that decision, and it is a pressuring scenario to be in. It doesn't always feel like an advantage. All right. We have Beheaded versus Sagat.
That is a Beheaded, and that is a Sagat.
Yep.
All right. This is interesting. A couple of stat monsters duking it out, both with pretty reliable ranges. They actually both have a 2 to 5 speed 4 projectile.
Yep.
Sagat's arguably a little better, but it depends. They are both printed speed 4. Sagat can initiate and make his speed 5. Beheaded does a little more damage at face value with a hit range 4 or greater, plus 2 power effects.
Yep.
But Sagat's is great in resources, assuming he has a discard pile to work with.
Yep. Yeah, so anything that can get him a discard pile early on makes that Tiger Shot at opening positions pretty dominant, at least on offense.
Yep, so if Sagat gets to go first, we might see a turn 1 reading or a turn 1 EX.
Yep.
Just to take advantage of that extra resource generation, because Sagat is what we tend to call a zoner, right? Like a character who is very good at taxing the opponent resources, getting them into positions where he has options that they don't.
Yep.
And removing their answers by making them spend those resources to get back in.
Yep.
Which Beheaded has good tools to do that. He has, like, Beheaded himself is a pretty flexible, kind of an all-rounder, all-ranger with good movement, good ranges.
Has an above curve option at 4, can make a lot of his things above curve with tactics.
Yep. But if he gets his trades consistently denied by Sagat just playing things that are unbeatable, then it's going to be a sad day for Beheaded.
Yep.
So Beheaded does have the first turn, so he's going to be able to decide the pace of the match, essentially. it probably will not be. I'm going to stand at range 4
Yeah,
for very long.
and let you dictate. The I feel like the beheaded game plan early is to, I'm sorry, the game plan into beheaded is kind of different than it is from most characters, where you are generally pretty comfortable trading as you reduce the game to an endgame state. You know, you are relatively happy if you go focus into sweep early on or something like that. Late game, you want to save your fast options so that you can close things out reliably. That's just kind of my understanding of like the general flow of the game. Against beheaded, it's really, really important to deny him those early resources because of his ability to snowball out of your control.
Yeah, beheaded has a 2-gauge flip that says when you exceed, permanently upgrade your character with one of these 3 traits over to the side. This will upgrade all of his specials and ultras for the rest of the game. He also has a one-time, like a 1-strike bonus of +1 power, +1 speed. And then, the next strike, he flips back to his front side. So you have to, again, pay 2-gauge to exceed, get your one-off bonus, get a permanent trait. He can do that up to 3 times for the traits, and then he can keep doing it after that if somehow the game isn't over. But generally speaking, if beheaded gets to 3 traits, the game has been decided.
Right, and maybe has been for a little while.
Yeah, at 1 trait, beheaded is like fine, and at 2, he is very strong.
Right.
So most folks into beheaded are trying to just not let him play to begin with.
Yeah. So in this matchup, if you're Hans playing beheaded, what trait are you eyeing first? Does it depend on what resources go down early, or are you sort of beelining a specific option?
So I would default to saying survival into Sagat because it means face up cross, face up tiger trot. Oh, okay, so now from what I have seen, Hans usually runs by the numbers, which would suggest a dive attack here.
Yep.
It is a regular dive. Okay. Does not burn his above curve to lose to a cross, which is reasonable. That is a dive down, however, which is 1 fewer tech.
Yep.
This is important. Sagat has a very notable boost. Sagat playing a face-up tiger shot. We can safely assume that the player has shouted "tiger" into the microphone.
If not, it's an invalid play.
Yeah, obviously.
And now you've done the thing that you don't want to do in order to dodge tiger shot. You have
fascinating.
You have crossed out.
Yeah. So traditionally, if you beat Sagat by crossing, then you lost the strike.
Yeah.
Follow-up can change that. So we'll see what he plays next.
Yeah. Now he has access to low tiger if he wants it. Really, really pressuring to come back in. It's like spends a twin daggers to move in. Interesting. Okay.
Move action. Okay. So well, at range 5 at least, a face-up low tiger loses to dive attack and dive.
Right.
However, nothing beats this tiger shot. This is a guaranteed tiger shot unless you cross out again.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that Watson Focus is actually pretty decent. It denies the push. It does not deny Sagat his extra gauge, which means Sagat coming in at 2 gauge already is looking pretty good.
Yep, Sagat is happy. He has started his engine. Sagat really, really needs gauge in order to make his things go. He's got very powerful ultras. He's got a good exceed side. I know that MrLephisto really likes Sagat's exceed side to just hammer you over and over again with face-up attacks. Has good criticals too. He generally can't pay for all of them, so he really needs that gauge.
Yeah, Sagat criticals tend to be on the situational side. Okay, so +1 max range hit gain advantage. That is threatening the dive attack here at range 5. Gets teched.
Onus now on Hans.
The abrupt silence. I had to sneeze and I didn't want to do it into the microphone.
Oh, we appreciate it. It's no problem.
All right. Preparing here again at range 5. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe just looking and looks like MrLephisto happy to respond in kind.
Yeah, so Sagat is currently at a board state advantage and is willing to use that time to build up resources instead of any other kind of advantage.
Yep.
Beheaded is saying, you know, I'm willing to deal with being at a disadvantage right now so that I can get resources. So it's kind of both players going, I want resources instead of
I want to change the board state.
Yes.
Yep.
But for different reasons.
The other copy of Twin Daggers.
That's quite interesting. Twin Daggers is a very notable card, not just for its potential power, but because of how its properties change with traits.
Yep.
So with Brutality, it hits power 7, which stuns sweep.
Yep.
With Tactics, it hits range 3, which makes it above curve.
Yep.
and with tactics and survival, it beats grasp at range 1. All right, Sagat boosting defends. That's interesting. Wonder what Sagat's hand is shaped like when he's boosting defend.
We can say for sure that there's no tiger shots in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Whenever I see this at range 4, I'm thinking something like a dive. Sagat might want to come in and brawl a little bit, but against Beheaded, I'm not 100% sure about that. To me, the fact that Hans chose to discard to specifically move to 4 means that he is threatening something that is specifically, like, you know, you could have moved to 3 or you could have moved to 2 and spent more cards, but he's unset this range.
Right. So he's threatening dive and dive attack. He also might be threatening the third copy, or the second copy of Marksman Mode. There's not a third copy.
Yep.
Which Marksman Mode would be a little unlikely, but it would be the other side of the mix-up with those two options.
Yep. The move no move.
Those two options. Yeah, it's the move don't move mix-up, right? Like you have a projectile where you stand still. So if your opponent plays a card that only hits ranges 1 to 3, they miss. So sweep and Tiger Knee. Or you have a card like dive and dive attack, which will come in, hit first, then get hit back harder, especially because of this defend here. So a critical Tiger Knee is actually a very scary defensive threat against those two options. Ooh, range 1.
Wrenching Whip coming in.
Okay.
Got perfectly happy to play at range 1 if he has to.
Yep. This also just invites him to boost runs, get out of the corner.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that is what happens, but
Terrifying is up.
Ooh.
Or is that a face-up Tiger Uppercut? Nope.
That is a Terrifying.
Terrifying it is.
No, it's a move. Is it a move action?
I'm not sure what that is.
It's a Terrifying.
Okay. Dropping Assault Shield, dropping Wrenching Whip.
Ooh, okay. The other Wrenching Whip was really good value. That is an on curve at 3, above curve at 4 with tactics, and a very good boost. We just actually saw that boost get used. All right, yeah. So Focus being a pretty stable range 1 defensive play, they are going to trade. Usually this would be just fine. It is 1 gauge for Beheaded, but right. 1 gauge is a lot less important than 2.
Yep. And he's
rid of a dive attack.
Lost four cards overall on there. Beheaded did. The Terrifying into Sweep combo is I guess terrifying.
Yeah. And you might even call it that.
A well-named boost. And so Hans immediately sort of patching up that resource advantage by passing the turn back to Sagat, as we saw that.
There's the run.
Yeah, that predicted run to get out of the corner.
Yep, makes sense. So now at range 3, Beheaded is pressured to initiate, ideally with an assault or something.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, Sagat is going to be... Oh, no, okay, so Sagat's going to exceed this turn. It's basically scripted.
Yeah, you just back up.
Yep, so draw 2, retreat up to 2. This is... Yeah, didn't even bother to draw the cards first.
Yep.
It's just going, I'm retreating.
I'm going as far away as I can. Maybe something's already in my hand that threatens it.
Yep, yeah, so we've seen both dive attacks drop. We've seen both wrenching whips drop. We've seen both twin daggers drop. Beheaded burning a lot of specials on this early game that doesn't have any traits.
We haven't seen any ultras out yet. We've seen a lot of specials discarding to move. All right, there's an ultra down. Wave of Denial goes away.
Yep, makes a reasonable amount of sense. Yeah, and taking range 2 with +1 speed. Okay, this is solid. This does still mean that a face-up cross is unbeatable, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or it would lose to... Nope, it's unbeatable.
I think Sagat doesn't have any crosses left. He ran out of the corner with 1 in the first turn interaction. He dodged something with
you're right. He's crossed in the first turn.
Yeah, he dodged the dive to get into that corner in the first place.
Yeah, this is pretty solid then. So there is a speed 6 assault being threatened by Beheaded. It is Sagat's turn though, so he can take a speed advantage, or he can neutralize the speed advantage.
Face up Tiger Knee.
All right, what have we here? That is speed 4 Tiger Knee with 4 guard. It is very difficult for Beheaded to break with no traits. He can trade with it with something like his own sweep.
Yep,
and he almost certainly will want to.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, he's happy to do that. So Sagat, there was no
6 for 6.
No crit. Sagat taking advantage there. What card are we losing? Drop the other copy of Sweep. Okay, so
unfortunate.
Yeah,
that means he does not have the face-up Sweep Fallout, which is a pretty solid range 1 option. Now Sagat needs to be at a 21. I was not paying attention to Beheaded's life.
I think Hans did in fact take 6. MrLephisto also needs to though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Wait. No, 21. Nope. Yeah, okay. All right. All right, well, Sagat's turn at range 1. Might see a quick backdash, but he doesn't have 2 gauge, so we're not going to see the quick backdash into Tiger Destruction play. Yeah, there's the QBD. Into Prepare.
Prep.
Okay.
Okay.
Almost certainly going to see an Exceed here from Beheaded, but... Oh, no. What's this? Might this be an Assault into Exceed? Assault Spike mix-up? It is a Spike. It is a low step kick, which was not critical, so it's just going to trade.
Yep.
You usually don't want to crit Wild Swing as Sagat, so this is probably still fine. It also gives Sagat that second gauge, so Tiger Destruction will be online at some point.
Yep. So you're never happy trading into Beheaded when Beheaded has 1 gauge in the first place, but when you Wild Swing and you hit with something, you are at least cutting your losses. You're maintaining your hand size. You have card advantage. You maybe are not happy at the range that you are at now. Sagat is Sagat's weakest range too.
I would tend to say so, but it depends a lot.
Yeah, like, I feel like what cards are down on the opponent's
at ranges
side. Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yep. Other copy of Spike is down.
All right, I'm a touch surprised here. I guess you might really think Beheaded has the assaults to play on defense. Otherwise, a face-up Spike is very solid
very
since
strong.
we know both ranging whips are down.
Right.
Like both whips and both daggers. So
yeah, I think seeing both assaults on Beheaded side still up might make that Spike face up a little bit scary. You do only have 3 cards in hand. I would gamble it, but I would also probably lose that gamble. So don't listen to me about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in terms of what options are like remaining accessible to each player, I do think Sagat's late game is looking better than Beheaded's, because even though Beheaded is building up gauge, he has thrown a lot of specials in his discard.
Yeah, we're maybe looking for a reshuffle fairly early from Beheaded if he needs to get that late game back online.
Yeah, I think we might still have 1 or 2 assault shields, at least 1.
Yep. The other copy is Tiger Knee.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, gains advantage. All right. There's a phaser getting dropped for the armor. All right. Well, Beheaded now does have essentially like 3 exceeds in the chamber, because one. So this is tricky math with Beheaded, right? After you exceed, you're probably going to land the next hit, assuming you have
Swift.
Right. Yep, which is +1 power, +1 speed.
Yep.
So you spend 2 gauge, you hit, you get a gauge. So each one after the first, you can mostly rely on having 1 more gauge in the chamber. Gets a roadblock. Oh, the other phaser. Oh no.
Oh man.
All right.
A lot of value into a range 1 wild swing. Focus assault. All right. Wow. Value.
All right. It's pretty solid. Yeah, hits for 4 and takes 2. Again, I wasn't watching live totals. I'll assume they did it right.
I think we're good.
We're probably going to see Beheaded try to exceed now and start accruing that advantage so that he can at least have like speed 8, range 1, wave of denials threaten.
Sure.
And then survival would actually make Assault Shield a lot more tenable than it currently is.
Okay.
But Sagat with an actual hands, with gauge that he's willing to spend his resources, and still with all 4 ultras accessible, can overwhelm Beheaded stats at this point.
Yeah, we haven't seen either ultras played as attacks or boost. Nothing's been down, so we've got access to +4 speed if you want it.
As QBD, is this QBD face up Tiger Destruction?
Into face up Tiger Destruction.
All right, 8 power. So that is enough to stun the 3 armor, 4 guard assault shield, which is hilarious.
And there's no blocks left.
Well, the grasp does outspeed it technically, which doesn't matter.
You just whiff.
Yep.
Pretty handily negating Sagat's. Beheaded's Swift +1 power, +1 speed, with a pretty unbeatable combo.
Yep. Quick backdash lets you immediately attain the range that you need, and then you face up Tiger Destruction, which gives it +1 power, +1 speed since you're in Exceed mode. So that's a 2 gauge, effective range 3 to 4, power 8, speed 6, which is insane.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of things happening all at once.
Yeah, just imagine a card that's 3 to 4, 8, 6, and think to yourself, who would make this?
Who would make that card?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Could never be printed.
Nope.
Um,
Sagat has 2 copies.
well then, Sagat has 2 of them.
Yep. So it looks like
All right.
Hans is reshuffling.
Almost certainly, yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense. He now has a trait online.
Yep.
And he needs to get those, especially those phasers back, because the boost on phaser giant killer is what's going to let him turn this life lead around at will.
And also having access to probably the best thing that those giant killers can funnel into being twin daggers. Both of those are down as well.
True. Although I'm pretty sure we haven't seen any grasps drop from Sagat.
Yep.
Which means twin daggers
is a
little dicey.
Yeah, can be holding on to those at range 1. Twin daggers can hit at range 2, but not in this position. So Sagat preps. We have another exceed from Beheaded.
Sagat prepared. I was expecting you to change cards or a move action.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now okay, so now with his entire deck available, Sagat is going to have to play either Fearless or KG, and we'll see which.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there might be, with 5 cards left for Sagat as well, if there's a possibility for a reshuffle from him as well.
Okay, and then Beheaded prepared. Okay, letting Beheaded draw deeper into this fresh deck is a very dangerous proposition. Fierce. All right.
I'm with the
into defense. Okay, Assault Shield is looking better and better. Yeah, and there are no quick backdashes, so this is getting harder and harder to deal with.
Yeah, this is I'm not sure about that grasp. Teching. I think that
teching defense.
That makes some sense.
It's going to try to crush something.
Beheaded so far has not represented that he's been particularly boost heavy, and I think maybe his most dangerous boost that you're worrying about, other than maybe light, is Giant Killer, which has a now strike, so the tech kind of makes sense there.
Giant Killer does not have now strike.
Oh, it has. Phaser has gained advantage. That's what it is.
Phaser has gained advantage.
Yeah,
Phaser makes it a boost and gains advantage.
Right, which is almost the same thing for how you tend to combo into it. But you're right.
Right, but if you're not using Phaser to combo into it and you're just playing it raw, because right now with 5 life, you can't play Phaser safely.
Right,
because Phaser essentially never wins clean.
It's a trade.
Yeah, like you get hit, you deal no damage.
Yeah,
but you have advantage in Giant Killer in play, so now you hit them for 1,000,000 damage.
You're probably not stunned because you're 4 speed 4 guard, more actually now because of survival in play. So you're gonna trade, but 5 life means you can't trade effectively.
You know, I'm surprised at the defend tech, because at range 1 with Fierce in play, looking at a 5 life Beheaded, I feel like Sagat wants to throw a focus, if anything, like maybe a block, but just something to say, you know, you're not actually going to stun me. I'm going to underspeed Assault Shield because you're in Exceed mode.
Right.
So here's some damage that will probably kill you.
I'm wondering if Hans is looking for a reading right now, checking the discard pile.
Oh, probably. There's only 9 cards left for Sagat.
Yeah, there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in hand, and then 3. Yeah, so we got 9 down. Looks like we are backing up.
Ooh,
all the way
spicy.
back.
All right, so this is normally where I would expect to see Sagat change cards, roughly 10.
Yep, just get your reshuffle online.
Yeah. Pay the 2 force from Gage and the hand, which has got to have at least 1 ultra and probably has 2 ultras in it.
Right.
And then, okay, so here's CC 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, move action.
Move action to get to 1 in corner. Interesting.
Okay, banking on not getting readings here. I wonder what normals are left.
We've got Grasp, Assault, Focus, Block, I think, on Sagat's side. Pretty much
Assault
everything
is very dangerous to have live.
Yeah, with Twin Daggers up.
Yeah, well, and with Swift in play.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that's still active. So +1 power, +1 speed on Beheaded side, in the corner, can't go back anymore. +2 power on Sagat side. I'm wondering if that move action, it seems like a costly read, but maybe just in response to, clearly you want to be far away from me because you just played Retreat. I won't let you.
Oh, like a knee-jerk reaction.
I don't know about knee-jerk. MrLephisto did not. By the way, MrLephisto made it top 8 in Chimera Summer Bash. Is I think at this point a quite good player. I don't think that he does knee-jerk reactions very often.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think that, you know.
So I would say the alternative is Sagat says being at range 1 for me is correct, which suggests to me that yes, the hand's got focus in it, or he's playing on Wild Speaking Focus. One of the two. Like Focus is the next play, because that I think beats everything that Beheaded can throw except for Dive, which you would have had to draw off the 3-ish cards he's drawn since Reshuffle.
Right.
Still surprised we didn't just see Sagat's CC massively right there into that or through that reshuffle. Like change cards, everything, draw 3 reshuffle, discard your known normals,
Right.
and probably pick up a Tiger Shot or a low Tiger Shot at range 5, where Beheaded goes, wait, why did I go to range 5? Maybe
Right.
this was a mistake.
Oh no.
Right.
The things
Yeah.
that I backed up because they were not live anymore.
Oh, there's Giant Killer.
Giant Killer is up. Infantry Bow.
There's probably no text left, which means focus is no longer reliable.
Yep.
Yeah, it's looking like Sagat should have been digging into that reshuffle a little sooner, because I'm not seeing a good outcome here unless he does a Hail Mary reading.
Yeah, I think I agree. And I mean, we know that there is a focus live, so you reading. I mean, there's no obvious reading target. There's you can reading dive, but the spike is gone. You can't spike something on defense in return. Your opponent has no blocks. Okay.
Okay, massive. All right, this is essentially saying, okay, you've got Giant Killer, I'll match it. Right, like it's +2 armor, +2 guard. It is making the reading assault more and more guaranteed, right? There's only one card in Scout's deck, so unless the last card is assault, then a reading can still hit assault.
Yeah.
Which is the likeliest threat in my view. I guess there's also grasp, because Beheaded has a speed edge, so he could reading grasp and initiate, but
with how careful MrLephisto is, I'm actually wondering if he does have that assault in the last card of his deck.
Well, he wouldn't have known if it was the last 2. He would not have known which one was the last one.
Right, when he played that boost and drew a card, because now it's on his turn, and yeah. Okay.
So every time you're drawing a card from your deck while your opponent has a reading live, you are taking a risk.
Right.
Hopefully it's calculated.
Right.
That's up to you, whether or not you want to calculate it.
Right.
But you have the ability to manipulate to a very significant degree exactly how vulnerable you are to reading at any given point in time. So this is one where Lephisto is taking a deeper and deeper risk every turn.
Yeah. So if Beheaded lands Twin Daggers here, it's +5, +7 power Twin Daggers into +2 armor, +2 guard Sagat.
Yeah, so it still trades with sweep and focus, and in fact it dies to sweep.
Yep. We got a prep.
Ooh, Beheaded preparing. Okay, that's surprising to me.
Yeah, with that hand advantage, I would think that you want to pressure the diminishing resources on Sagat's side here. Maybe no reading. Maybe you're.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, maybe there's no reading, but to me, it's more that there's a material advantage that Sagat can overturn at his convenience.
Right.
Which might be happening right now. There is still, I think, a mix-up in play. A grasp at speed 7, assuming there is another grasp available for Sagat.
Yep, there is.
Would beat all the mid things. A focus under speeds, assault shields, and trades with everything in the world.
Yep, with that much armor and guard.
Yep. And since survival, calling the focus. It is the focus. Okay. All right, there you go.
So we live to see another turn.
Yep.
Focus wouldn't have killed, but
no, but it would have dropped into 1.
Yep.
And yeah,
majorly diffuses that the committal of resources on both sides there. Beheaded had a boost in play, so did Sagat. Beheaded also had his temporary exceed side in play. Feels like even though he managed to dodge the attack, it feels like an even trade to a loss for Beheaded. I'm not sure how
I would consider
that.
I would consider that a winning play for Beheaded. That was a situation where Sagat, especially massive hitting play after Giant Killer means Beheaded can't afford to just lose this strike, trade down. Like he's got problems now,
right. And he's in the corner. Yeah, the dive certainly makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, all right. So striking range 3, likely to be on curve. Scott does not have any above curve tools now at his disposal.
Mm-hmm.
Should probably wild swing.
Would actually, I just realized, would Face Up Grasp have just won the game?
Speed 8 coming in. No, it doesn't kill Assault Shield. That was the other side of the mix-up.
Didn't he have +2 power? Oh no, your Assault Shield has armor. Of course it does.
Yeah,
wrenching weapon to block, dropping another grasp. We really need to see a reshuffle from.
So this is 5 power wrenching whip. Wait, what's hit effect? What? They forgot the hit effect.
Yeah. Hang on 1 second.
Weren't they at range 3?
They were. 1 second.
All right, I'll let you worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so notably the
Oh,
timing on
Han's
blocks
thinking.
effect, well,
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so timing on block is after hit effects.
Yep.
This is important.
Yep.
Your opponent should not know in advance what force you're spending. Like that is information, right?
Absolutely.
Now, at this point, with no hidden information available in deck or any other areas, it's fine that Beheaded knows Sagat's hands, because that is totally deducible. But not knowing what force was spent is relevant.
Right.
All right, decided on range 4. That's fair. So it is Sagat's turn. We're gonna see a CC. I hope.
Yep.
I dearly hope.
We have 2 cards left. One of them is Tiger Cannon.
I thought they were both
Yeah,
Tiger
but
Cannon.
yeah, they're both
there
Tiger
you go.
Cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, CC5. Okay, that's almost certainly correct.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Sagat gets to play again.
Yeah. Late
They're
reshuffle.
probably going to exceed for range.
Yeah, get that last trait.
Yeah, because range here at 4 is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, just striking. Interesting.
Going for phaser maybe, trying to go for the throat.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's just 6 power bow.
6 power
Gonna
bow.
Chunk for some damage.
Yeah, I mean you're happy to deal 4.
Yeah, that leaves Sagat here at range, which is dicey.
Ooh, okay. A lot of speed coming
Swift
in.
Destruction. Yeah, so that's +4 speed. Makes Low Tiger speed 6 or 7, which is hilarious.
Yep. We also have no. I'm sorry, 1 tech left from Hans if he wants to do it, but also 16 cards in his deck, so no guarantee he has access to it right now.
Mm-hmm. Judging by the hesitation, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. It's entirely possible that he's also considering just moving into range 1,
where it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, where the speed is like notable, but much less of a problem. Looks like some force.
Moving.
Wait a minute.
Cross grasp, wrenching whip from Gage.
Cross from hand in. Is this a move action?
Why wouldn't you just
Because why wouldn't you just
advance?
boost the cross?
Maybe he's backing up,
Yeah.
but he can't hit from there.
Backing up to let Low Tiger Shot win the game.
He's CCing.
Change cards. Okay,
that makes a lot more sense.
That makes way more sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Gets rid of your known normals. Gets rid of 1 thing from Gage. You still have 2 Gage left if you want to exceed or use one of your ultras.
Yeah. So we see probably a face up Low Tiger.
Yep.
Hey, look at that. It's face up Low Tiger. That's speed 7, power 6.
Hope you have block.
Yeah, or assault shield. Probably we see the assault. Oh no, it is block. Okay, cool. All right, that is a push 1, and then block decides its expenditure, and then the after effects. Again, sequencing, but yeah.
Yeah.
You can elect to give your opponent the additional information of knowing that you're going to do that, I guess. You could also just change your mind after the fact based on what they spend, since the timing is out of order here.
Like we are dropping cross.
This is because the after effect on the Tiger is an after effect, not a hit effect, by the way.
Right. Interesting that you drop the cross when you might want to be running back in, but
I have a strong suspicion that at some point in time this beheaded player got hit by reading cross.
Sure.
and never wanted that to happen again.
Yeah, no, and that with Sagat, that's the one thing you absolutely don't want to happen.
Yeah. Exceeding for tactics.
Tactics,
okay.
Range
All right.
5.
This is like reasonable. On my screen he hasn't grabbed the tactics, but like it is in fact required, so he is known to have tactics.
Right, sure, I'll actually let him know.
But yeah, dive attack is now speed 6 and hits for 6 at range 5, which is very good.
Yep.
Very stable. So that's the obvious threat.
Oh man.
Oh look, another switch traction. Cool. Yep, gonna draw that low. All right. What'll it be, Beheaded? If Beheaded moves in 2 spaces, then he can actually deal with Low Tiger with Assault Shield. But if he moves in 2 spaces and Sagat's holding a spike, then Beheaded loses the game.
Pretty much.
because that would be a speed 8 spike for 6 power.
You're also moving in.
Preparing.
You're also moving into range.
Okay, just gonna eat this. Presumably has the assault shield or focus, something with.
I have to assume, yeah.
Yeah,
Critical.
oh, that's a crit too. That's good. That
Interesting.
lets Sagat move
Yeah.
through his deck a little faster.
Yeah.
Set speed 7.
Other copy of
Yep,
block.
okay.
Maybe that's why he felt okay preparing, but you got 7 power and you're discarding a card, right?
You don't discard. Sagat draws.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I'm thinking of
Yeah, you get pushed though.
of the
which is
crit
still
on Tiger Shot, I
nasty.
think.
Yeah, so the importance of this draw effect on Low Tiger is if you're just looping the same card, then you're not giving yourself more options, right?
Right.
So, like, even though this is now gauge neutral instead of positive, where it's just playing it without the crit is gauge positive,
right,
you are able to, draw one card past it as you recur it, which is important because eventually your opponent's going to get out of it.
Right.
There's no way somebody sits here and lets this happen forever, although we have seen now Beheaded sitting here and letting this happen.
Yeah, for a couple of turns
multiple strikes in a row,
and dropping both blocks in the process. So what is Hans getting rid of here? He actually literally has to get rid of something.
He has to pay at least 1 force to not lose the game.
Yeah, to not die.
All right, so now he has 4 armor, so he'll only take 3 damage.
3 damage is a lot to take when you have 5.
That is true.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about this game, but I know that 3 is not quite as much as 5, but it's almost as much as 5.
The difference between 3 life and 5 life is substantial.
Yep. I feel like when you are at that incredibly low threshold, sometimes if it's the difference between 2 and 1 life, you might be okay with it to keep an important card in your hand, but going from 5 to 2 is a swing that I wouldn't want to put myself in a position where I could lose to just grasp, from 5 life.
Even with it,
Dive attack?
Oh, drops the dive attack.
Interesting. Okay,
right.
so
takes 1 damage and reverts.
Sagat has very effectively managed to avoid the Beheaded's exceed turns this game.
Yeah, Beheaded has not really been coming in against Sagat's range pressure.
Yeah.
So
we still do have that
costing him a lot.
We still do have that LTS live. Like, this is a win condition for Sagat.
Essentially, yeah. Beheaded needs to get in, and he's going to move it 1.
Might not be enough. Light.
Okay.
You have,
all right, that makes Tiger Shot now beat everything.
You have another turn, and Hans needs to take it here because you are out of blocks. You still have both your assault shields, but there is a limit to how much they can help you. Assault shield would have 3 armor on it.
Yes.
That's not enough with a critical face up.
Oh, you're right. That's 7 power.
That's 7 power.
You need
EX it. Yeah, EX assault shield. And
it still only survives.
You survive by 1, and you move in 1 after you get pushed, I think.
You would close 2, so you'd move 1 net. You would get pushed 1, and then you'd close 2.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going spacing positive, but you're losing an EX to do it.
Yeah, you're spending 3 life and 2 cards to do it.
Right.
So that'd be excruciating.
Right.
But yeah, I guess Beheaded could initiate and try to control the mix-up, which is, usually initiating Scott is a great idea. You don't want him to initiate into you, after all, because he gets extra stats, and it's horrifying.
Right.
That +1/+1 matters a ton for breakpoints. For example, right now, actually, if Sagat initiates, he can play a face-up Low Tiger, which makes it speed 5, which means it will outspeed a dive attack.
I actually just realized, I think LTS's Low Tiger Shot is actually... Oh, no, it is 7 power. Never mind. He's exceeded. We're moving in another 1 with the other copy of Dive Attack, getting rid of one of the things that he has at this range. So threatening pretty hard, actually. I think threatening that infantry bow, because if you were he has tactics up. Never mind. He can do other things.
I think he's actually threatening Wrenching Whip.
Yeah, I was gonna say because now Wrenching Whip hits at 4 and it's above curve as well. Definitely not dive, because if you were threatening dive, you would probably tech that speed boost.
Yeah. Although, hold on. Wrenching Whip doesn't actually survive against Low Tiger Shot.
Right.
So
you just play it in response.
Yeah, so what beats the face-up Low Tiger Shot? I guess Assault does. Assault lets you duck in to range 2. And then Sagat is down whatever he... Like, if he crits, he's down a lot. If he didn't crit, then he's down a turn, which could actually be pretty important considering how low resources are right now.
LTS at +2 speed is still speed 5, though, right?
Yeah, but Beheaded now has +1 speed.
+1 speed. That's right. Okay, I actually
Yeah.
thought that was a move action, not a. I didn't notice that was a boost.
It's a move action plus.
Yep. He's
Yeah,
gaining.
it's actually a season 3 style boost. Those were referred to. Those are nicknames workhorse boosts in development, which are you get +1 of a stat and you do a little something else.
Yep.
So Kin's Burning Passion, and Quick Attack, and Overpower. This tornado over here. Little things like that.
Yep. And usually those workhorse boosts are not now strike or something like that.
Yeah, they're designed for neutral play.
Okay.
They're designed to support strong neutral, which like is obviously a huge theme of season 3.
Season 3, of course. It's one of the reasons I like it. We're moving to range 1.
Ooh, okay.
So we still have that quick backdash. We know about that, but okay, interesting.
All right, so Sagat has said, I don't have the Tiger Shot, or I don't want to play it, but probably he just doesn't have it.
Right.
The regular Tiger Shot,
Yeah.
to be clear.
Yeah, the high Tiger Shot.
Yep, and he doesn't want to just prepare and let Beheaded set the terms. So he's going to come to range 1, where he can play, a Tiger Knee, a Focus.
Hex that.
He can still trade. Okay, that's actually not bad for Sagat, though, because now Focus will underspeed Assault Shield.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
And now there's Defend, which makes his trades better. Yeah, if Sagat gets to trade, then he's probably in great shape.
Yep. No, I think
Beheaded probably going to have to throw out either a Fierce or a Giant Killer just to be able to make his own threats meaningful again.
Yeah. And you still do have that, Sagat is good at range 1 in part because he can so quickly be at range 3 again.
Yes, he can immediately go to range 3. He can also boost Massive where his ranges become yes.
Yeah, they become the board.
Yes, it's like my assaults now hits ranges 1 to 4, my sweep hits 1 to 4.
Sagat can hit you in BattleCon. He can hit you all the way into another game.
Yes.
Although that quick backdash also becomes maybe a little bit less relevant because of tactics and the +1 speed being up. Like by no means do you still have the dominant plays at range 3 that you did at the beginning of the game.
I don't think you want the QBD now. I think you want it for after this strike, because Sagat's not going to die in 1 strike. This is the opponent's decision if they want to let Beheaded search the deck and shuffle. It's not a tournament rule.
Yeah.
Like by the rules of Exceed, no, you can't search your deck at any time. Yeah. But by convention, if your deck is not ordered because you haven't seen its contents, you don't have anything on top deck, right? Like if your deck is a shuffled deck, then it's a shuffled deck.
Yep.
So your opponent can say, sure, search your deck, then shuffle it afterward. No one cares.
Yep.
Because it remains a shuffled deck. This is something that's been accepted as a
I'm not sure
this is an acceptable tournament play. It's just
I'm not sure they know that.
Well, that's right. These are both new players, as we're very clearly seeing in a lot of ways. The Scott play is pretty solid. Beheaded has been burning a lot of momentum, kind of playing very conservatively, and it's really hurting his end game. Yeah, like the hard rules are no, you can't. But the hard rules are also like you never reveal your hands, right?
Right. Sure, and people do that all the time.
Like whatever. Yeah. I think the if there was a formal ruling on hand reveal, which I don't think there actually is, but if there was, it would be of the form, you are not allowed to, as a game mechanic, reveal your hand at an arbitrary time. You can drop your hand on the table, proclaim whoops, and then pick it back up.
You can sneeze and drop your cards.
Yes, we can't stop you from doing that. So, go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I also think that, it is, Hans, I think, electing to, MrLephisto saying it's okay, he doesn't particularly like it. Hans electing to, it looks like, manually go through his discard because he can...
yeah, that's the thing, right? Is like, you don't have to do it.
Right.
You can just tally out your cards, which I actually thought that Hans was maintaining pretty rigorous track, because it seems like he's one of the players that keeps a tracker on the side, updates it constantly, which I usually find leads to people making more mistakes, actually. But I've seen at least one player that I don't think I ever saw make a tracking mistake, so it's possible.
I mean, as I'm sure is well known at this point, I hate tracking cards and maintaining rigorous spreadsheets, and I would never do anything like that. Looks at
imagine like making a tracker.
No,
right?
Ridiculous. Integrating Excel functionality into OBS so that I can have the tracker appear on stream. None of that stuff.
That would be a ridiculous amount of effort for something you clearly don't like at all.
Yeah, and that I frown on. And think makes you weak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
definitely.
That's my hard stance on card trackers.
Yep.
So
yeah, that.
I was gonna say just like as the two players are kind of as the two players are kind of determining what their moves are in this position, we've got to me this is Sagat's advantage, if only because Sagat is so comfortably setting the pace here. Like the board state right now suggests a lot of things. Looking at what cards are left suggests a lot of things. I feel like Sagat is currently comfortably in control of what's happening here, and it is on Hans to break that control.
I would definitely agree, and especially because of, I mean, to put it bluntly, how little value Beheaded has managed to leverage out of so many of his tools.
Yeah.
He's now reaching a point where, actually, I'll talk briefly about the concept of deck pressure. Right, so deck pressure is often used as a meme to say like, I have one more card in deck than you, I'm winning.
Yep.
Right. This is literally a joke.
Yep.
But the idea of deck pressure in Exceed, what it actually does strategically, what it means is that as I run through my deck, I have fewer and fewer options available. Which means, you have more information about what I don't have. I'm going to get more and more desperate. Speaking of desperate, we have a Hail Mary reading.
Hail Mary reading. When you have a boost on the board and your opponent didn't tech it, I feel like it's a little bit risky to play dive. It's kind of risky to call dive anyway as your reading target. It looks like we are playing
reading
Tiger
dive,
Uppercut.
which fails. Playing a Tiger Uppercut. I would have actually expected a Tiger Knee here. I guess playing dive reading dive means the opponent's going to play something faster than dive.
Sure.
So Tiger Uppercut is a safe bet.
Yeah. Right,
because it's like, this beats things that are faster than it. Which it does. Not quite for lethal though.
Yep.
That is a 5 power wrenching whip, which can't get out of range.
And I believe Sagat takes 1 damage from that.
Yeah. 5 minus 4 is 1.
Yeah, happy to trade there.
Yep. Sagat does not crit, and is going to deal 4 minus 1 equals 3 damage.
Yep. One of your most powerful ways to close your game out is gone on Hans. Not gone, I'm sorry. He might have another copy of reading, but yep. You take 1, I take 3.
This was a long way for a little bit.
Yep.
It's again one of those, oh man, Sagat is really, really on top of the world right now. Now we saw that hand looked to me an awful lot like Quick Backdash Face Up Tiger Shot.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have both things that say Tiger Shot in your hand. Your opponent has 1 life. Spite, okay. So
wait. That's right, because Daggers hits at 3.
Sure. Oh yeah. We were talking about this yesterday, weren't we? There was a game that you were talking about.
Wait, okay, but now it just works, right?
Yeah, I believe so, because you have that extra speed. You are very quickly running out of options to block with. I guess
EX Daggers still wins.
Yeah. And you have 3 cards in hand. 2 of them could be daggers, and that.
Yeah, well, there's only 8 cards left on Beheaded side, so
Yep.
It's actually not that unlikely for EX Daggers to be on hand.
Yep, very true. So Sagat has to make this call. Rare times when. Okay, so we are manually backing up or face up.
No, I think
that's face up assault. Okay,
that's a speed 7 assault that hits for 5.
Yep.
Which kills everything. I'm pretty sure.
I think almost everything. Yeah, I'm not sure you have a way out of that.
EX Grasp. EX Assault Shield only has 4 armor, so it dies. Needs literally block, which I think both copies are down.
Copies are down. Yep. We saw him reaching for an EX something.
Probably the EX Dagger is not realizing that this is a speed 7.
That he would have died. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the EX Shields not realizing that this is 5 power.
Right.
Either way.
Yep.
Turns out those breakpoints matter a lot.
Yep. Yeah, and
which, by the way, this is the power of Sagat. You go, man, striking face up is terrible when you tell your opponent what you're doing, unless it just wins.
Unless it wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
MrLephisto.
Okay. Yeah. So that's they lose the game, but wanted to show what they had.
Yep. I think that
Quick Backdash was indeed not the play.
Yep. Yeah, and Sagat choosing to play the on-curve assault makes a lot of sense. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, this beat everything that was left.
Yeah.
It was guaranteed.
Very, very well played from Sagat that game.
Yeah, Beheaded pushed against the wall, trying to make desperation plays to drag the game back from the pits of neutral, in which he did not really have anything to leverage.
Yep.
Sagat with that early mid game disadvantage of digging into the bottom of the deck for cards that he had not yet found a way to use. Then post shuffle, bringing it back, and not really losing the lead again after that, as far as I can recall. But LePhisto makes a great point. Everybody watching this live or recording, stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Drink water.
It's hot out
It's good
there.
for you. Yeah. And if it's not hot where you are, it could be.
It could be at any time.
Yep. So drink water.
I haven't seen. I've watched more of Hans play than I've watched MrLephisto play, but in my experience of him, he has. We've talked before about the concept of playing by the numbers and playing, when you play mix-ups, when you play the correct quote unquote option, and I think first of all, MrLephisto playing Sagat, like Sagat can play mix-ups, but Sagat is very good at.
He wants to play one-ups.
Yeah, he wants to play things where he wins, and I think that really benefits a player who is good at playing quote unquote by the numbers. I wouldn't say that MrLephisto does play by the numbers. I think that he plays fundamentally soundly. He leverages things that I don't always think are the correct call. With Sagat it's difficult because your altars are good, your Exceed is good, you don't have room for a lot of them. Which one do you pick? He really loves Sagat's Exceed side, and he makes it work very well for him.
Excellent. Excellent. This is challenging. Sagat is actually one of the is on the short list of characters who, if you make a mistake, it will cost you the game.
Yep.
And you'll know it.
Yep.
And you'll hate it.
Yep. Yeah. And it's really because Sagat is so. It's actually kind of analogous to the conversation that we've been having about the mechanics of switching in this tournament, where the onus is on the Sagat player to not make a mistake. What that means is that he's advantaged. If you
just look at that sentence and you're like, wait, so if they don't make a mistake, they win?
If they don't make a mistake, they win. But that also means that it is a mentally taxing, mentally pressuring character to play as and against. You need to be on point because it is more likely that you will cost yourself the game as Sagat. Maybe. I mean, this might be an overstatement. It is an interactive game. But you can cost yourself the game as Sagat as easily as your opponent can cost you the game.
Right. Like what should happen is you will eventually have to call some number of mix-ups correctly.
Yep.
What can happen is you made a minor error, and because of that, you just lose.
Yep.
Which is weird to say this about Sagat, right? Who is a character with great neutral, great boosts. He's a Street Fighter character. He's just solid, stable, good all around.
Yep.
So you don't think of him as just falling apart. But the way he falls apart is subtle. It's because every little breakpoint matters.
Yep.
If you're bad at math, Sagat is going to be a very hard character for you to play.
Yep.
And also because he plays deeply into the resource game. Of Exceed. Because he's a zoner, right? Zoners and Exceed work based on the resource engine.
Yep.
Yeah, they are playing game 2 consecutively. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Looks like we are going in right now.
Okay. Worth noting, per the point you just said, playing, which this is a new player event, so there's no timers in any of these rounds as far as I know. But this was about an hour-long game, which is an extremely long game.
Yes. Yeah, we are at 53 minutes on the recording.
Yep. So if you're playing an hour of Sagat and then you sign up for another hour of Sagat, it's a decent chance that you're going to be fatigued to this, that you'll be making mistakes.
Absolutely.
So.
And that was not a game there was a little bit of downtime in that game, but that was a fairly active game of Exceed. It was long. But I would say the amount of interactions going on, there wasn't a huge amount of hemming and hawing by either player, especially compared to some of the stuff that we've seen in this tournament, where the slow play may have been caused by care rather than indecision in this case, which is, I think, a different kind of slow play.
I don't think it was a matter of indecision. I think it was a matter of playing very defensively, which that is one thing that I've noticed. Like I said, I haven't seen either of the players a ton, but MrLephisto currently, my impression is stable, like fundamentals.
Yep.
And Hans has doubled down on being a very, very defensive player.
Yep.
Now, when I say defensive, I should clarify. This doesn't mean you never initiate strikes. Defensive means that you're trying to minimize risk.
Yep.
Aggressive means that you generally want to maximize reward.
Ooh.
Defensive means you want to minimize risk. Sorry, here we have terrifying. Yeah, defensive players tend to play low tempo, low reward, low risk, and that is perfectly fine. Oh my
God!
goodness.
Oh no! What incredible pulls on that Tiger uppercut.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like Beheaded goes, I want to be at range 1, so he probably has a hand of range 1 options.
Yeah.
Well, look at that, he sure did.
So this is interesting. So the math of the Beheaded that we were talking about earlier is a little bit flipped from other Exceed characters because you are Assault Shield. Okay. Ooh.
That's gonna stun.
That stuns completely. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you do not have your traits up yet. That is a.
Oh, this is a. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Right, well, Beheaded no longer has a hand or anything to work with.
I think we actually saw Sagat initiate with Terrifying into Sweep last game as well, early in the game, and it caused a similar resource deficit.
Makes sense.
That's a brutal amount of cards and very important cards to lose. Prep on both ends.
So normals are okay. Here's a CC5.
CC a lot. CC
Makes
both
a lot of
alters and
sense.
Assault Shield.
Yeah, you need a hand that you can work with, and that ain't it. Does mean Assault Shield is down for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
And one copy of Giant Killer, which didn't need to get teched.
Yep.
All right. Sagat playing building his resources more conservatively because he can afford to.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are back to neutral. Both players have nearly a full hand. Beheader initiating probably just wants to guarantee a trade. His sweep could be a grasp.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a sweep. Okay. Gets his gauge. Yeah, gets his own sweep, or gets the other sweep rather out of Scott's hand. Scott, I mean, obviously pays at least 1 force. I just don't know if he pays 2. Depends a lot on that hand shape. Paid a low tiger shot from the look of it.
Yeah, one thing that I try to play Sagat. Sagat is a character that is extremely high on my list of characters that I ostensibly someday when I'm not running an event would like to learn. A weakness of my play is that if I have a win con in my hand, a theoretical win con, low tiger shot does not really help you in this position. But I know in my heart that is such a good card that I have so much difficulty spending it. And I will end up with a card, a handful of win cons, and nothing to spend them on.
All right, so Scott running a little bit more mix-ups here on the front side, which makes sense because on front side you don't get the extra power,
right?
So it's not strictly correct to use the ability.
Yep. Immediately
that did buy
exceeding.
him. Yep, his 3rd gauge, which he's going to use to exceed, backing off 30 gauge advantage, I should say. Ahead initiating, assault spike mix-up. Sagat just squad swinging.
Yeah, get that range 3. Ooh, okay.
All right, doesn't waste any cards from hand though. It is now Sagat's turn. Here at range 3, and Beheaded has no traits again.
That's no traits, but face up dive.
Right.
Okay.
Face up dive, speed 5, power 6.
Okay.
Ooh.
Crossing out.
One of the only cases where you can say crossing out did not lose you the strike against Sagat.
Yeah, you're
because you're still at range 3.
Yeah, your main. Well, I mean, Sagat notably pretty good at range 3, but it is Hans's turn, so.
Yeah, it's a not hard to lose you the strike.
Exactly. Yeah. Other copy of block, and Hans saying this is how you do this is how you do a dive.
Oh, what? Sagat playing a crop? All right, that surprised me. I would have expected face up cross to be the follow up here.
Right.
So what is the follow up? What's Sagat gonna do? Is he gonna prepare? Maybe boost massive? Oh, never mind.
Face up cross.
Face up cross is the follow up.
MrLephisto's deck responding to your question for you.
Yep. All right. Well, that checks out. Okay. Sagat backing off to range, now at range 4 where Tiger Destruction is online.
Yep.
Beheaded feeling the resource pinch, wanting those traits, but also desperately low in cards.
Yeah, and also you exceed and it's Sagat's turn. Like so you're
although you have a speed edge.
You have a speed edge. Yep, you're okay, and tactics, so you are kind of pushing hard on the speed curve right now.
Yes, you're saying, okay, my wrenching whip is actually above curve.
Yeah.
So
This is
that
also
means it is a match for Sagat.
this is also, I think, the trait that he brought online last time. So maybe seeing what happened last game and trying to mitigate some of those problems. Also, probably assault shields down already. You are pretty unlikely to be able
survival's a little lower value.
to really make survival work for you, other than just trading, which hey, Beheaded likes to do.
Yeah, survival's also great if your opponent's going to be throwing 3 powers a lot, but Sagat's already in Exceed mode,
Right.
so things are going to be 4 power at minimum.
Kind of minimum, yeah.
For the most part. Like, notable exception of low step kick,
Yep.
but Sagat doesn't really want to play low step kick anyway. All right, Sagat prepared, so it's back to Beheaded.
Mm-hmm.
Sagat actually pretty comfortable here. That surprises me, because initiating with face up Tiger Destruction would be phenomenal. Though, I guess if Beheaded initiates with anything, and Sagat can just play another like conservative card, like a blocker focus. I think he's down blocked. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no more blocks left on Sagat's side.
Okay, then Sagat can absorb the hit, which, based on how this Beheaded has been playing, I would actually probably consider Marksman. Sorry,
Infantry bow.
Infantry bow. Playtest blindness there. To be like the likeliest play, since he's been trying to play that card whenever it's quote unquote safe.
Yeah. Yeah, he has been using his dive attacks to walk in so far, and has been using his infantry bows to.
Okay, here's a strike. So yeah. Whip is the quote unquote safe play. It is whip. Gonna push and deal a whole 1 damage. Oh, or pull. Sorry, because the Sagat doesn't hit. So yeah, you can safely pull.
So
Sagat takes 1. Yeah, 4 minus. There you go.
Yep, there we go. And so once again, mostly maybe mitigated the assault. I'm sorry, the Exceed side for Beheaded. Like, you've given him another gauge, which you don't want, and Beheaded desperately does want. You haven't.
Yeah, Tiger is just another copy of block in this case.
Pretty much,
it's like, all right.
Yeah, your back hasn't been broken by it. You kind of wish you could have had that go to gauge somehow, but you've made the best of a fairly bad scenario. You backing up, or is that on curve?
It's face up.
Yeah, face up assault.
Yeah, with only 1 card in hand, this only loses to Wave of Denial, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. With tactics. Okay.
Ooh, there's the whip getting beaten. That is 5 power and Sagat's advantage.
Yep.
This is a dangerous momentum swing.
So,
all right, Sagat chooses to prepare.
Yeah, so,
I was expecting his DC, actually.
Yeah, notably also both copies of Terrifying, Tiger Uppercut are down.
Of Terrifying Uppercut?
Yep, Terrifying Uppercut. We've seen Sagat leverage both sides of that pretty strongly. Tiger Uppercut is good on both edge.
Definitely demonstrating good use of both sides of that.
Yep.
We've also seen him spending low step kick as force and wild swinging it, which are the 2 best use cases for low step. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I mean, Exceed side Sagat definitely has more use cases for low step kick.
True. Speaking of exceeding, Beheaded exceeds, and then Sagat prepares. Sagat actually comfortable here at range 1 against this pile of stats.
Yep.
I think if Beheaded has Phaser, we see a Giant Killer play. Ooh.
Once again, using dive attack mostly as a move action. This whole set so far, Hassan's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just the player property by the numbers, right? It means you always want speed.
Yep.
Because that is the stat that by default will always be good.
Yep. Man, someday I'm gonna remember that that's not a move action. That is also has speed on it. You can tell that I don't have a huge amount of Beheaded familiarity, despite having watched at this point several games of it.
Let's see. +1 speed, 9 move on. That's also on. I think there's a couple of season 6 characters that have that. I think Wagner has that.
Matching the speed.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, Tiger Knee is a pretty solid attack. I guess it doesn't look that great with both Twin Daggers up and
brutality.
As much power as Beheaded can currently leverage.
Yeah, we got +3 power.
This could just be like 6 power.
Yeah, just
daggers.
Yeah, I mean daggers. It's not the daggers spike mix up, but daggers is already scary enough. There's daggers into focus.
All right, well, yeah, that's 6 power. That's gonna trade.
Yep.
This is Beheaded's fine with it because it means he has 2 gauge again. God is extremely fine with it because he gets an extra gauge.
Yep.
Oh, that's dangerous. Scott also needs to draw for that after, I believe.
Yeah.
Every resource matters.
Oh yeah.
As you can see, Sagat with 6 cards in hand, 5 cards engaged, Beheaded with 1 in hand, 2 engaged. We have a face-up Tiger Cannon. That is 5 power, speed 7.
To the wild
All
swung
right.
block.
That's actually a reasonable thing to do here.
Yeah.
Man, see, Phaser, because he didn't have survival, could not be used to tank that Tiger Cannon.
Right.
So use it as force to completely block the damage. It's now Sagat's turn again. Do we see a move action or do we see a face-up strike?
Oh my god.
That's the potentially lethal.
Other copy of block. Jesus.
Well, that is going to be very costly to block, though. That is 8 power coming in.
Beheaded essentially.
Pay at least 2 force.
Beheaded essentially saying, how many ultras and how much gauge do you have? And Sagat, meanwhile, saying, how many copies of block do you have?
Yep, Sagat leveraging... Oh, I was expecting Beheaded to take 2 so that he could still exceed on this following turn, but he will not do that.
Yeah.
He's just going to prepare. This is extremely dangerous.
Yeah, this
Sagat still has the momentum.
Very bad. Face-up dive in the corner.
Negative. That's retreat 3.
Retreat 3. Okay, thank you.
Yep, all good. Obtaining range 4 for a Tiger Shot. Beheaded has a thing he might want to strike with here. That's interesting.
Basically,
we know Phaser's down.
Basically everything. I think there might be 1 copy left. I may have missed things. Things are moving quick here, which I like to see. Beheaded also, I'm pretty sure, other than 1 copy of focus, basically everything with armor is down.
I think that sounds right. I mean, with both blocks for sure, both infantry shields for sure.
Yep.
Infantry shield?
Assault shield.
Assault shield. Man, Anyway.
Okay.
Bow, okay, yeah, Sagat again, just cutting his losses. Gonna take 3 from that.
Yep, can't push me, can't pull me.
Yep.
I'm happy at range 4 where I am. It's my turn now.
Yep, which probably means we have a follow-up face-up Tiger Shot. Could be a low if he feels lucky. No, it's a regular Tiger Shot. That's an invalid ultra.
Yep.
And that is going to lose on speed. That is a speed 4 dive against a speed 5 4 power Tiger Shot, which was not critical.
Yep.
So Sagat does not get the extra resource benefit. But by itself, that's still getting an extra card to gauge and an extra draw, which is fantastic. Sagat maintaining its resource lead.
We can have another copy of Tiger Destruction coming in. There's all three traits. Let's see if it's if there's still enough game left for this to matter for Beheaded.
Feels like way too little, way too late, but we're probably going to see a reshuffle next turn if he can survive this turn.
If he can survive this turn, exactly. Both players have pretty low decks. 4 cards into 5 cards in deck. Of the options that Sagat has available, like if one of them is Tiger Destruction,
I think we see that windmill slams.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's checking to make sure that there's anything left, but seems like he's...
Tiger Destruction isn't beatable by anything here except for an EX, and we definitely have EXs not available for whip and dive attack.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy. Okay. Swift Destruction. That's gonna make Low Tiger come online in a big way.
Yep.
So that is now a speed 6 Low Tiger.
So Hans has no dives, so we have a reading coming out. Maybe Hail Mary here. Reading Wild Swing.
Oh, definitely Hail Mary.
Grasp.
Calling a grasp. Oh, I would have expected an assault. Okay. Oh, speaking of assault.
So,
all right, nobody gets hit. That diffuses the boost.
Yep.
But doesn't really save Beheaded anything.
Kind of a tech move action. You get to a range that maybe you're a little bit more comfortable at. You get rid of the boost. You have some in-strike movement. You both miss each other. You spent 2 cards.
That was a Wild Swing assault, to be clear. That was just a Hail Mary to diffuse the boost.
Good point. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Hans knows the 4 remaining cards, so there's not much. Okay, face up, crit, low step. Is that worth it? That doesn't kill. So
yeah, deal 3.
Yeah.
Deal 3.
It's crit because of survival.
Yeah,
that's why.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
that makes sense now. All right, yeah, that's solid. So that's going to stun the marksman bow, which is probably what
he have had. Should he have taken 1 more damage there?
No, it's 3 power because it's face up.
3 power face up. Oh, he had 5. I'm sorry, I thought he had 4. Yeah, Beheaded had 5 life.
He was at 4 life. Yes. Yep. But yeah, okay. No, that's solid. Sagat just kind of leveraging his resource advantage into a life advantage bit by bit.
All right, this makes
a
lot of sense. Yeah.
He is in desperate need of a lot of the stuff that's been in that discard pile for a long time. This is actually a very late reshuffle, I think. I'm not sure if this is quite what I would what the play which I refer to as the defensive reshuffle, also known as Gaboxel's maneuver, since it was passed down in his as an heirloom of his family ancestor. I don't know. He does it better than I do. He's got a whole bit about it. Anyway,
I'll have to ask him sometime.
Reshuffle and pray.
Okay.
is the legendary secret technique, which I'm now broadcasting on stream, so the world will know his secrets.
Well, this is a learning event, so and we've
Yep.
got a reshuffle from Sagat as well.
So one of the ancient secret techniques is if you need a card, it's in your discard pile, reshuffle and pray.
Yep.
Just make that one card come to the top of your deck.
Hopefully
you do this earlier when you need more cards and you have more time. But right now, I can see it.
You're hoping that you've led a good life. You haven't pissed off any witches. Your luck
Except
is
for 9 the Phantom.
Of course, yeah. If you're playing 9, definitely.
Or Eugenia, I guess.
Yep. Oh, yeah, fair point. Yeah. There's
other witches?
There's enough witches in Exceed that I wouldn't want to mess with them.
I guess Enchantress might also be a witch.
I think that for the purposes of sort of like the tropes, she would count. Maybe a sorceress. Honestly, she probably is an enchantress. If we're looking for
that makes sense. All right, I'll grant you that.
If we're looking for if we're looking for the correct noun, but
I will give you that.
Yeah, she can probably be a witch. Maybe she like minored in witchery.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Minor in witchcraft.
Yeah. Doctorate in enchanting.
Doctorate in enchantress.
Yeah.
Correspondence courses in supervillainy because she's not good at it.
Yeah. Should we be calling her Doctor Enchantress then? Maybe she doesn't like to lead with that.
Well, she prefers the
okay, yeah, no, that's the definite article is the equivalent. If you go to medical school for a very, very long time, you start to get referred to as the instead.
Yes.
Yeah. Hence Doctor Who, the Doctor.
The Doctor.
Exactly. All right, we've solved it.
Yeah. All right, so you have a reshuffle on Sagat's side.
Yep.
Also makes sense.
Yep. Keep those options live.
Yeah. Saw a bunch of ultras in that discard. Needs to close the game. Needs tools to do it.
Yep. Probably can't take 12 damage in one strike. That might not. When you have a life lead, you sort of need to use it.
All right. Beheaded. Okay, this is just a force efficient movement because speed at range 1 is not a huge deal.
Yeah.
It can matter.
Gets you
against Sagat.
Gets you out of the corner.
Yeah. Face down strike. All right. This feels like a Tiger Knee or a Focus.
Playing mix-ups.
Or sweep. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
That is GG.
Yep.
Wow.
All right, well, that still would have traded. Very, very solid Sagat play in the second game, especially. I think you learned from the mistakes you made in the first game of holding on to that bottom half of the deck too tightly, or it was just a function of, some other aspect that I didn't see. But from my perspective, first game it was like, man, Sagat felt like he should have reshuffled way earlier. This one it was like, no, this felt snappy.
Yeah.
This felt solid. Beheaded, I think, should have reshuffled much earlier in this game, especially.
I agree with.
But I don't want to what's the word? I don't want to denigrate either player. This was solid play all around. So don't take this as criticism. Take it only as critique.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a learning event. There's a lot to learn about this game. This game has a lot of depth to it, and I think that hopefully, if nothing else, the commentary that we're providing can be a resource for people to learn from. Hopefully, it's entertaining too. But it's hopefully we can be a little bit educational.
Definitely hope this was entertaining and interesting. Interesting. Hans claiming this is beheaded favored. I have never seen anything to suggest that, but maybe eventually we will see it. There are a lot of beheaded players, and there's not only many Sagat players, so it may just be a function of the Sagat players, consistently playing well enough that I don't see beheaded perform well in this matchup. But I've never really seen beheaded with an advantage in this matchup. He does do better than a lot of characters. Into Sagat.
Yeah, I think Sagat is from a lot of people whose opinion I respect about this game. They rate Sagat very highly. I think if you have a pretty good matchup into Sagat, you're doing okay. Sagat is a dangerous character.
Beheaded does have beheaded is not a bad pick into Sagat, but Sagat is a dangerous character with a lot of good tools. And generally speaking, I think of characters as saying, well, I can't deal with anything Scott's doing. I'm just going to do what I'm doing better.
Right.
And that's how I win.
Yeah.
So I don't, but if you want to play defensively, if you want to play answery, which Hans clearly does, then having characters that say, I can actually deal with Sagat's tools is important to you.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I can see how beheaded is the choice in that regard, because he can say, oh, Scott's doing this. I actually can answer that, right?
I have a lot of answers to things. I can contest things at range 3 in a way that other characters can't, even by default. You can't just mash. You have more answers than many characters tend to.
Right. So beheaded is basically able to support, or I should say even enable, a defensive playstyle into Sagat, where generally a defensive playstyle will just cause you to lose the game.
Yep.
That said, I'm not really convinced that it lets you win the game. It just enables a playstyle that otherwise does nothing. So, but yeah, that's important though. Actually, I've said before, the way I choose my mains is how I can enjoy the game no matter what. So I play characters where even in a matchup that's like is unfavored to some degree or another, I'm gonna do something that's fun.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy playing defensively, playing answer E, then I can see the beheaded Sagat matchup making a lot of sense, because you can go, all right, whatever he's doing, I can do something that will let me diffuse whatever I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
And that's that's what you're looking for.
I think if there is a takeaway from this tournament, it's that I would like Exceed to be fun when you're playing it, and I think that Exceed has the ability to be as fun as you want it to be. If you need to win in order to have fun, that calculation is different, but you can have fun with this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is it's a fighting game like most others. I would say any others, but there's a lot of fighting games out there, and some of them are real weird. There's a lot of room for player expression.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You can play the way you want to play. You can have a good time doing it. You can do it well.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to be very participatory myself in the mentor portion of this event due to time constraints, essentially. But that was the lesson I wanted to get across: was you can play the way you want to play, and not feel like you're making mistakes, and like you can do whatever you want to do and still do it well. You don't have to play,
the meta,
some character the way everybody says they should be played.
Yep.
And you can do the other things that you want to do, just do them better.
I have to say that it's difficult to hear that you don't think that you've interacted with this mentor event very much, given that, like, we can look at the number of season 5 characters that were chosen in this tournament. Like,
okay, that doesn't during the event.
All right, I was
not very active.
I see what you mean. But
I did not do much mentoring.
I would say that your presence was definitely felt, and thank you so much both for mentoring and being on the mic with me. It's been a real pleasure learning from you.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed co-commentating. And yeah, thanks for running the event. Honestly, like this was an awesome thing for the community at large, and I think especially for the new players. It's really been appreciated, and it's been awesome. Like, it's consistent with the tone of the Exceed community of aggressively, efficiently, friendly.
Yeah.
And as someone who at least started out as a new player not that long ago, and I think has developed rapidly, you've grown right into that exact same tone in a way that's consistent, and that's delightful to see.
Well,
because it's like, yeah. Because I also don't think it was a matter of conforming. I think you were just like, oh yeah, being friendly seems good. Let's do that.
Yeah, it seems like the play. No, I'm really
the friendly meta.
I'm so happy to hear you say that, and I'm really happy that this event. It feels like it was what I wanted to do, and what I wanted to do was to make an event that would be fun for me to be in. And it seems like all I had to really bank on was that other people would enjoy the kind of event that I was enjoying too. And it seems like enough people enjoyed it that and with the ridiculous amount of help that I got from other community members, I think I was able to pull together something that people seem to enjoy. To that end, I have a once we close up on commentary here, I'm going to post some special thanks and some credits for the people who've helped me out on this. So, and D, you're definitely one of them. So thank you so much for all your help on this.
Happy to. I mean, that I enjoy helping any way I can. It's just a question of how much can I.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. All right, we're gonna stop the stream. We're gonna stop recording. And I will see you all around very soon. Bye, everybody.